Welcome to the System to Success show. On this show, we'll cover the best growth advice from top CEOs in North America and beyond. On each episode, your host, Jay Crutchfield, he's a former software engineer turned entrepreneur, created and maintained online marketing, online sales, and fulfillment systems for global brands. He offers non-traditional wisdom about business systems mastery, while his guests share the story of how they built their companies. Jay and his guests talk entrepreneurship, digital marketing, strategy, and business principles. But they also talk about what it means to be human with all the ups and downs, advances, and setbacks. And what he does is he takes his information and strategies that has helped catapult global brands and brings that to the small business owner to give them that advantage. Make sure to subscribe and follow for more of these business system mastery principles. Today's episode of the System to Success show, we're going to talk about confessions of a CEO on marketing failures. All right. So recently I was having a conversation with the CEO of a fairly large company, and who shall remain nameless for their asking. And they were talking about just some of the failures or perceived failures or things not going the way that they desired with their CMO on the marketing efforts. And so they were talking about the frustration of their expectations of results for predictable revenue growth and hitting certain metrics, and how it didn't necessarily turn out that way with the CMO, the Chief Marketing Officer. And so looking at that from that conversation, I saw that there was a disconnect with the CEO's expectations for growing the revenue predictably and what the CMO saw in his description and the limitations on his job. So his job title and description, basically the description focus for him on the marketing communications, on the social media, on advertising, paid, and including paid advertisement and PR, right? And so the challenge from that conversation from that CMO was that his influence was limited on certain items, like for launching different products, as far as like dates, for pricing for them as well too. And so there was some frustration, and then even the communications with the sales team. And so there were some breakdowns in communication there. And so the CEO was frustrated, the CMO was frustrated, and eventually things didn't work out too well for that CMO specifically. And so this is not an isolated incident. So as we're going into and looking at it, as different marketers and CMOs are talking to CEOs, whether they're looking internally in their company or looking externally, if you're a marketing agency, you have to remember the fact that CEOs may be thinking like, okay, I've been hurt before. And so looking at that, I saw a study from the Harvard Business Review, an article on that reported that 75% of CEOs don't trust their CMO. And so that's just looking at that, that's pretty wild, right? And so CMOs, there's some things too. There may not be the communication as far as the strategy that's involved and really appreciation for that business strategy and hitting those certain metrics. So, a lot of that may be focused on the transactional marketing and wanting to hit those goals quickly. But the combination of the brand marketing and the transaction marketing, the brand marketing may take some time. It takes time to develop your name in the marketplace. It takes time to build that know, like, and trust with a new segment, a new audience of people. And so that relationship building takes some time of walking
that potential client from seeing that they know nothing about you to them actually becoming a client, and you gain a market share on that. So there's maybe a disconnect on that side. So what's some things that CMO, that marketing agency can start to do to gain trust? One thing, because we're all human, no matter your job title, no matter your responsibility, is that we're all human. And so anytime we get excited or get a quick win, we get that shot or hit of dopamine. And so some things that you can think about is, what's a quick win that you can bring to the CEO? What's a quick win that you can bring to this business owner so that they see that you're making progress? So they may not necessarily want to see that, okay, this is going to take 12 months to hit this goal. And I mean, that may be a longer term, it may take 12 to 24 months to hit certain goals. But what in the short term, what's some metrics that will bring some more comfort and confidence to that CEO or to that business owner that you can hit? So what's some quick wins that you can get? That's really important to get those quick wins in there, because when people are waiting and waiting and waiting, and deadlines don't wait, timelines don't wait, and so you want to be hitting certain metrics as you're doing this. And so, and also thing is, there may be breakdowns of communication, and so making sure people know ahead of time when things are going off track. Not waiting until the last minute to talk about, okay, this campaign is costing more than we anticipated, or we're not going to hit this revenue goal by this time frame, and wait until the last minute. But really stay in the communication with that. Peter Drucker spoke about that as far as the focus point of marketing. He said there are always, one can assume there'll always be a need for some selling, right? But the aim of marketing is to make selling superfluous, right? To make selling unnecessary. He said the aim of marketing is to know and understand the customer so well that the product or service fits him and sells itself. And so that may take some time looking at the current customer journey of building up that marketing to the level of them consuming enough content to know, like, and trust you to take action on your product or service. And so when it's done correctly, right, it's going to make the selling and sales team, it's going to make things easier for them. And so as long as they're staying in communication, that the CMO, the marketing team, the sales team, it's going to make, when they're in communication, that CMO actually has more of the influence and responsibility of being able to do that marketing research, or even having some heavier influence on the marketing research, on their pricing, on their product marketing, the launch, communications, right? As long as he has more influence on that, then, and that they're really good at doing that, then it's going to make selling unnecessary or super duper simple for them, right? Because there's such a fit. And so that goes definitely into that segmentation, that goes into the speaking specifically to the pain points of those potential clients. And so we definitely want to stay in communication with those CMOs, stay in communication if you're a business owner, stay in communication with that marketing team that you're working with. And if you're not working with them specifically internally with the marketing team, you definitely want to partner with somebody that knows what they're doing, that stays in communication with you, that's doing reporting, that's doing tracking, right? So that you can see where things are, and it's going to stay in constant communication with you so that things aren't a surprise, and because that's where those breakdowns happen. All right. And so it doesn't have to be that way as far as, those breakdowns in communication. I mean, they may happen, but as long as there's that frequent communication going on and setting out what the goals are, and making sure that CMO, that marketing team actually has the influence to get the results that they're looking for, to be able to assist with that business marketing strategy and start getting those quick wins, then more than likely there'll be a better relationship with that CEO, better relationship with that business owner, right? All right, so go ahead and subscribe and follow for more business, marketing, and business system strategy principles, strategies, tactics, all that. All right, so look forward to seeing you on the next episode.